What is up, Packer fans? It is Bill Belichick week. It is Patriot week. Mac Jones might not play. He did injure his ankle last week against the Ravens in the loss. It was like 37-26, I think, something like that. But either way, Mac Jones got injured at the end of the game. He was in some pain. Obviously, the week has gone by. He has not practiced at all, but he keeps saying he wants to play Sunday at Lambeau. Obviously, a lot of these young guys, this is a dream of theirs. So I'm really thinking he is excited to play. He wants to play, but what are they going to do about this ankle? That was the question he asked, and their training staff is asking what can they do to get him in the game. We'll see. But either way, they could tape it up a lot, but I don't think he's gonna be able to put any pressure on it. He's not gonna be very mobile on it. Obviously, adrenaline kicks in, the Lambeau kicks in, and he'll be excited. So he'll be, for a little while until he gets hit or somebody yanks on it or somebody falls on it or something of that nature. But we'll see. Otherwise, it will be the 13-year vet, Brian Hoyer, to start. Or they've been talking about Bailey Zappa. I heard some buzz about him in the preseason. I did see some of him. He looked good. He was pretty, decent. So, but obviously rookie, young, raw. And if he did play, Packers defense would have a field day with him. But Brian Hoyer, he's a vet. He's a true pro. We'll see, if he does start. He might be a little bit more efficient than Mac Jones would be. Mac Jones is still young. But anyway, we'll cover the Packers injury report. So today, Bakhtiari didn't practice. I think it's just the veterans day of rest for him, with that knee, just trying to make sure they don't overwork it. They want him to be ready for Sunday. No setbacks, I don't think. I didn't hear of any. I don't think there's anything wrong with Bakhtiari, so he should play Sunday. I look for maybe some more of Bakhtiari and then some Yash mixed in, but maybe not as much. But maybe they're going to keep it the same and just kind of do that for a while because it did work well. They only gave up 1 sack last week, like 3 pressures. Very good for the offensive line for the Packers. So, don't fix it if it's not broke, right? So, I think they'll keep it going like that. They don't want to overwork that knee. They want to kind of ease Bakhtiari back into it. No rush. Patriots do have a good defense. Obviously, it's Bill Belichick, but nobody that's crazy off the edge. Matthew Judon is really good. He's probably their best player on defense, but Bakhtiari did play so well last week, and Yash played super well as well. So, but big news, Christian Watson, the rookie, 34th pick in the draft this year for the Packers, wide receiver. He's back. So that's huge. Full go today. He was back at practice. That is big news. Obviously, Sammy Watkins is still on IR. He'll miss this week and then 2 more weeks, which means both New York's, both the Jets in London and then the Giants at Lambeau. But he might be back for at Washington. So that would be big. We'll see. They put him on IR for a reason. Obviously, they thought it would be a substantial injury at least. 4 weeks is quite a bit of time, so hopefully he's back by then, but we will have more of an update later on, I guess. We don't really know for sure if that's exactly when he'll be ready to go, but having Watson back is big, obviously, with kind of Romeo Doubs' emergence last week. Lazard's coming into his own a little bit more, doubled his catches. He had 4 this week. He had another touchdown, and then Cobb had a big play, or 2 catches for like 57 yards or whatever, but he had that 40-yarder. So big plays from him. We had Tyler Davis. So many guys are getting in the offense. Now you throw Christian Watson into the mix again. Hopefully they can go deep to him, and this time he'll catch it. So that would be sweet. I don't want to keep talking about the drop, and I don't want to keep giving him a hard time. He should have caught it, but obviously they lost that game, but we moved on. We won the next 2, kind of eased up on them a little bit, and maybe now it's time to give him another shot over the top. I think he catches the next one, so we just got to give him that chance. Rodgers really hasn't thrown it to him downfield. Everything to him has been kind of those end arounds and jet sweeps and kind of reverse style plays. So, yeah, no down throw passes to Watson. Dobbs is starting to get him now, and Dobbs is starting to gain some of that trust, and you can see Rodgers likes him, and you can see that's starting to work like I thought it would. So that's exciting. But like I said, having Watson back is so big. Just another guy, another weapon, another guy for Belichick to have to scheme against. But it's just nice when we're full health. But that being said, Jaire Alexander also out today with the groin injury. I don't think he's playing Sunday. I think Nixon played really well against the Buccaneers, so I think that the Packers are, they're not going to rush Jaire back. They don't. There's no reason to. Stokes played so well. Douglas played so well. Like I said, Nixon played really well. If Jaire's good to go, obviously he plays, he'll be in there. But if there's any chance of a setback or if he's having any kind of, lingering effects from that, I don't think he goes. I really just don't think he goes anyway. Like I said, he didn't practice today. And Bakhtiari didn't, but I think he does go. Like I said, Watson went, but Mercedes Lewis also out with the groin. He had kind of the same issue last week. I don't know if it's just another veteran day or if he had a setback or anything. So, but that's why we saw a lot more of Tyler Davis in the past game. He made some plays and made the most of his opportunities, caught both of his targets, and, some production. DeGuara should hopefully get into the mix more, and Tanyan, you could see that Rodgers was getting the ball to Tanyan a lot. A lot of those plays were to Tanyan, or some of those, he was kind of the dump-off guy, or, his outlet at the end of the play if his first check down if the other guys weren't open. So it's good to just have your full slate of weapons, especially these young guys. If Dobbs or has a day out, like a day that he kind of doesn't have it all going for him, maybe Watson has it going and he can make some plays, or vice versa. And so just exciting to have both of those guys out there. Obviously he is such a high draft pick. It'd be nice to see him do what Dobbs is doing, especially since Dobbs is the the steal of the draft. So 4th rounder, and he's playing like the fourth best receiver in the draft right now. So pretty cool. And we'll just see how it goes from there, because I think now that he's kind of bumped himself up to that wide receiver 1-2 around with Lazard, I think now that he's going to start getting those targets, and 8 targets. That's a lot of targets. So he could easily get to 10. He could easily break the rookie receptions in a game record, which would be awesome. That is 9. So I feel like Dobbs will get 10 at least this year in a game. I really feel like that could be coming. He already had 8 in week 3. So I've been projecting him to be wide receiver 1, the star of the Packers receiving core. All training camp, all off season, and now into the season. Took a little while to get going that week. First week, second week he got some balls, and now he really exploded on the scene. Against Tampa. So I think now that he's got 14 more games to go, I think he can get a game where he has 10 receptions for sure. Break that rookie wide receiver record, which would be awesome. So something to look forward to, and maybe he does it against this Patriots defense, Bill Belichick. Belichick, though, is going to always try to take away your number 1 option, try to take away your number 2 option, and, try to take away your number 3 option. So you're going to have to make adjustments and make adjustments on that, and then adjust on that on top of that, and just figure it out. Packers really have struggled in the second half this season. Really have not scored any points in the second half at all. Obviously not against the Vikings, really. Obviously not against, against the Bears, they didn't really score. Bears almost came back, but the defense held. Packers didn't do anything on offense there. And then against Tampa, they didn't do anything on offense there. The defense just held. So pretty amazing that the defense has played so well, but the offense needs to get going. If there's a day where, another offense has it going on our defense, then the offense is going to have our Packers offense is going to have to keep up with them and figure out ways to move the ball and score points. So they can't keep just relying on the defense to keep holding teams to under 13 points. So it is amazing though. I think the season average right now is 15 for the Packers defense for points per game, which, if any team is holding, that's pretty crazy with most offenses putting up almost 30 points nowadays. The opposing offense to only 15 is pretty remarkable. So Packers should be able to score 16 at least points per game on offense. I don't think they have been doing that though. I don't even know what it would. I don't know what it would be right just offhand. But either way, still they got to start scoring more points, especially in the second half. I don't understand what all the issues are because, with Rodgers, you feel like, and Jones and Dillon, you feel like they should be able to keep moving the ball. They had so much success in that first half, but I don't really know. They said, the team makes adjustments, and they don't really make a lot of adjustments because they kind of just stick to their scheme. And you kind of have to make adjustments though, so, well, whatever. So Patriots defense, that's obviously Bill Belichick's, focal point. They're his main, area of expertise. He's got a little bit of a weird situation going on there with his coaching staff, with Patricia and Judge, but who am I to judge how he, delegates his coaches? But Belichick knows what he's doing, but obviously the defense is what he is the overseer of mostly. Not a lot of guys on the defense that just jump out at you like, oh, wow, that's a big name, but they do have a lot of players scattered throughout this defense. Jalen Mills at corner, the old Eagle. Devin McCourty, longtime Patriot. Matthew Judon, the old Raven, but he is probably the best player on that defense, somebody to watch off the edge for sure. Watch for Jenkins and, Bakhtiari or Yash to be matched up against him. Jabril Peppers, if you remember that name, the old Michigan star, went to the Browns and I think to the Giants, and now he's with the Patriots. So I don't think he starts. He's a safety, but Adrian Phillips, he's another safety, and then Kyle Duggar, he is the starting safety. So a lot of guys that kind of just, play well and they make plays for this Belichick defense, but not really a lot of names that just jump out at you. Those are the most most common ones that I remember and that I know. Obviously, I know a little bit of them, but so Lawrence Guy didn't practice though this week. Mac Jones didn't practice this week, and one of their offensive linemen didn't practice. Duggar didn't practice. He was limited, and Jalen Mills was limited with a hamstring, and Adrian Phillips was limited with ribs. Jacoby Myers was limited with knee. They are injured all over the place over there in New England, but it really is going to depend on if Mac Jones plays or not, or if Brian Hoyer plays. Hoyer's very limited on what he can do, but he does have a decent ball. He does throw well. And he's been around the league. He's seen some stuff. He was a starter for some time. But the Packers, they're going to have to figure it out on the offensive line for sure. Keep this crazy Belichick scheme, the blitzes, and just all the different fronts they're going to see ahead of them, and give Rodgers some time to throw and these running backs some time to run. That's going to be a big emphasis this week, I think, is this running game. The Packers need to run the football. Last week, I think they combined, total yards combined for Jones and Dillon was 75 yards or so, roughly. It was under like 80 for sure. So, but that's really low for your two starting running backs. And a guy, Jones was FedEx Ground Player of the Week 2 weeks ago when he had 132 yards rushing. So they need to be more productive. They each had, I think, 12 carries, so, not 2.9 yards per carry average, which isn't going to cut it. You need these guys up around 4.5, 5. At least 3.4, like I was saying in the other video with Dylan when he was ramming out those tough yards. but you had Jones getting those, 8, 9 yards of carry because Dillon was grinding out those tough yards. But um, they need to do that again. Patriots are going to want to stop the run. They're going to want to make Rodgers throw the football to these young receivers. They're probably going to, try to take away Lazard and Jones and Dillon and make Rodgers use Watson and Dobbs maybe, So we'll see. Maybe he'll just try to take away Dobbs, and we'll see how this all goes. But Belichick's going to really change it up, so it's going to be important to run the football, really put some pressure on this defense, and then make, score some points, and then make whoever's at quarterback, whether Mac Jones or Brian Hoyer, uncomfortable on the defensive side, rushing the passer. If it is Hoyer, you're looking at, a guy that can play well. If Mac tries to go out there, he's been struggling this year a little bit. He's still young, and if he is hobbled by the ankle, that is going to limit him a lot. So we'll see. But the Patriots, they spend so much money on receivers. Kendrick Bourne, they have Jacoby Myers, Devontae Parker, who they traded for, Nelson Aguilar, the old Eagle, Jacoby, Tyquan Thornton, the speedster they drafted, and they had Ty Montgomery. He is on IR, the old Packer. We all remember him, the one that fumbled against the Rams after he took it out of the end zone. We don't forget, right? So, but they also they spend the most money on tight ends in the league with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Jonnu has not done much since he has been a Patriot. Hunter had a decent year last year, but also hasn't done much this season so far. But they do run the football. Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson are both really good. The offensive line, I'm excited, because I was always used to watch who the Patriots would get in the draft. Because, they had Brady, they'd win the Super Bowl, and I'd be like, okay, who are they getting to add to their great team already to win another Super Bowl next year? And so I was always curious to see who they drafted. So now even this year, even without Brady, I just pay attention to it, see who Belichick's drafting. And he picked a guy named Cole Strange out of Chattanooga, which is not really a big name school. And he was a first round pick when he could have been a third round pick, maybe. You could have got him in the second for sure, and probably the third, depending on where you drafted. But first was such a reach, it was beyond a reach. But Cole Strange, kind of a cool name, something you remember, obviously. He'll be starting at left guard next to Trent Brown, the big Trent Brown at left tackle. They do have a good offensive line. David Andrews at center and Isaiah Wynn at right tackle. So Packers defensive line will have their work cut out for him. Obviously, Cole Strange will have his work cut out for him as well with Kenny Clark. So I think Kenny Clark will be all over the rookie. He'll be lined up on the rookie a lot on Sunday. A lot of those guys will probably want to get their chance at the rookie over at left guard, but obviously coming off the edge, Rashawn Gary might want to stay on Isaiah Wynn's side, stay on the left side, and let Preston Smith stay over on Trent Brown. Trent Brown's tough. He's a big guy, and they pay him a lot of money to protect the quarterback, and that's what he does really well. So I would just send Gary on the other side. Sorry, Preston, you're going to have a long day. If you can figure out anything, great. But let Gary come over here to Isaiah Wynn and try to run amok on him, or put him, move Gary around on the inside, maybe put him on Strange. But I do like Strange. He is good. He's been, decent this season, but as a rookie, there's some things you can do to maybe confuse him up front. So exciting to have a good week of practice. The Packers look really good all week, and obviously they're at home at Lambeau. That's huge. Rashawn Gary was saying, any Packer fans going to Lambeau this week, we want to hear you. We want you guys to get loud. So if any of you guys are going, get loud. Hopefully they win this one. It is, Belichick always kind of worried. Last week was Tom Brady week. We used to deal with Tom Brady and Belichick at the same time. Now we have Tom Brady week and Belichick week separate, which means, but at least you don't have to deal with Tom Brady and Belichick at the same time anymore. So I guess that's one good thing. But Belichick's defense, Matt LaFleur is going to have to make some adjustments. They're going to have to figure things out. They're going to have to stay in rhythm or find a way to get back into a rhythm once they fall out of it. Going 0 for 8 on third downs is just not going to cut it. They're lucky the defense played so well. They're lucky that Tampa didn't have Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. Next time they see them, the Buccaneers, it would be in the playoffs, and they're going to have Evans and Godwin and probably Julio Jones and then Russell Gage. So Russell goes from the number 1 to the number 4. It goes from 12 catches to probably 2 catches. But that just shows, we're not going to be able to only score 14 points and win the game. They're going to have to do way more. They're not going to be able to go 1 for 9 in the second half on third down conversions. They were 5 for 5 in the first half, and then 1 for 9 in the second half. That's not going to work. So hopefully they bounce back this week. Like I said, they got to really run the ball, get the ball going on the ground, let the big guys move up front, move forward, and then, run off the play action pass, short passes. Keep doing the dink and dunk like they've been doing. It's been working, moving the ball down the field. Obviously, you need to take some deep shots, keep the defense honest, keep the defense, on their feet, and just, you got Watson back, maybe take a shot or two. Dobbs has 4.5 speed. He can go over the top. He's about Jordy and Devontae. They used to go over the top. And then, Lazard underneath Cobb. Cobb looked really good, so Juwan Winfrey was even out there last week. They were trying to get him some balls, but the route and where Rodgers was throwing and the pressure was kind of off. But it would be exciting to get some more of these receivers in the mix, kind of get this offense flowing more. The stats would be a lot better if they had some second half success. Obviously, a lot of 3 and outs and a lot of drives that stalled early, so just didn't lead to a lot of of yards, obviously, or points then ultimately. So they really need a bounce back this week. Being at Lambeau does help so much. It's such a big, motivator. Obviously the volume, how loud it gets there when they're on defense. Just, Gary feeds off of it. All the defensive players feed off of it. Preston Smith was talking about how you could feel it, the energy in his body last time. So that was at the Chicago game. So another big one. New England comes to Green Bay. It's not often, it's crazy because we used to hardly ever play Tom Brady, and then go figure, now that he's a Buccaneer, now it's Patriot time. So, but whatever, it was every 4 years, but it never seemed like it. And then the one year I think Rodgers was hurt, or Matt Flynn played, I think. So it wasn't even really a matchup. So, but whatever. So it's going to be Watson coming back with Dobbs kind of coming out and Lazard. So this offense should be starting to click a little bit more. I think they're going to start, getting into mid-season form here in a week or two. Maybe not against Belichick's defense. So then it'll be, the Jets and then New York and then Commanders. It could be 3 games after this that they win easily. Belichick's obviously always tough, but hopefully the Lambeau advantage. Hopefully if Mac Jones can't go, we can get after Brian Hoyer. Even if Jones can go, hopefully we can get after him. Defense, it's going to, be up to them to really step up again if the Packers offense can't get the ball going. But I think they'll be able to. Like I said, the Patriots, it's all about scheme. It's all about, all these guys working as one unit to, be successful. And they just don't have a lot of big name guys, so it's everybody doing their part. So hopefully you can trick one of these parts and make some big plays. And I think Rodgers is capable of doing that. Obviously, it all starts up front with the offensive line. It all starts up front with the run game. Oh, hopefully they can get that going, and then on the back end, hopefully we'll see if Jaire can go. I don't think he will, but otherwise, Amos has been playing super well lately. Douglas is playing so well. They're kind of moving him around a little bit. And, obviously Campbell and Quay Walker Walker just keeps getting better and better and better, and Campbell just keeps showing you why he was all pro. It was like, oh, for week 1, oh, what happened, and then week 2, oh, he had a good game, and then week 3, it's like, oh, 14 tackles, play saving, PB pass defense. So just really, really a great player. Big pickup from Goody last year, a guy that no one wanted, kind of was just waiting for somebody, and had multiple multiple time or all this time for teams that they could have signed him and they didn't, and Packers are just like, oh, we'll try it. We like it, and now look at him, all pro, 5 years, 50 million, making big plays in big time games. Really exciting for him. And then Douglas was kind of the same, practice squad here, there, and now he came here and Pro Bowl in 3 years, 21 million, so really shows what just one chance can give, can be like for people, or for anybody, for these guys. And that's why it's exciting when people do get a chance, or Keyshawn Nixon coming in and really balling out, getting a forced fumble, and then being on the punt. He played like 70 snaps, and most out of anybody else in the Miami Heat, or the Tampa Heat, for the Packers. So pretty exciting that he has played so well. It's always good when guys can come in, especially guys that just came here this offseason and step up and make plays when their number's called. And he said he just wants a ring. So he's willing to do whatever it takes, like a Swiss Army knife. So I thought that was funny. So exciting. This Packers team looks different this year. Rodgers said it himself. He said there's just a different vibe about it. He said on that onside kick at the end of the game, it was they didn't want to get Brady'd. So if Tampa got the onside kick there, is there a way Brady with, if a second goes off, I don't even know how much, if time goes off until a guy catches it, and if he touches it, he's probably down. So I don't know how that would have worked with the time clock, but 14 seconds were on the clock. Most of that probably would not have ran off. Brady would have had a chance to throw a deep out route with about 4 to 6 seconds left, and maybe get a guy out of bounds for a long field goal. It would have been tough, but it's Brady, so I wouldn't have put it past him. So, like, Rodgers is thinking, like, okay, we got to get this onside kick. And what he's saying is that, you have guys like Douglas and Darnell Savage who go out and on this, super big play, they all remember losing. Well, Douglas doesn't, but Savage remembers losing to Tampa. Most of these guys on the team remember losing to Tampa. Douglas just wants to win. And they go out there on the onside kick, which, mostly starters don't play special teams. And they went out there and they both just crushed guys, so that Lazard could just take a little one-hopper and snag the ball and take it to the ground and seal the win for the Packers. So really just shows what kind of guys this Packers team has, and the fact that they just are willing to do whatever it takes to win, and it's really exciting. So once they start, coming all together and starting to get into that midseason form, starting to gel on both sides of the ball, this defense can still be better, even though it's been so good. And this offense obviously has a lot of room to grow, but they can also be super good. With Rodgers, sky's the limit, but just need to get a little bit more, savvy on the throwing the ball, and then integrating the run and pass game. They kind of get stagnant and just kind of stall out. So we'll see how this week goes. It is Belichick week, so not always a great way to see where you're at. But like LaFleur said, it's a good week to see where your special teams is at for sure, because Belichick's special teams is always so A1. And with Matthew Slater, he does make you... he's a special teams Pro Bowler like 10 times, so he will make sure that you are on your P's and Q's when it comes to special teams. So we will see where the Packers are at for sure. Pat O'Donnell was the special teams player of the week for the NFC, with his 7 punts, 5 of them within like the 20, and 4 of them were within like the 15, and then he had that one that was within like the 2 or like like 3 inch or whatever it is. So wherever Nixon's foot, wherever he was when they caught the ball. But and then Romeo Doubs was Offensive Rookie of the Week for the NFC. So big week for him. 8 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. He's got 14 catches, 137 yards, and a touchdown on the season. So really exciting, really exciting. So I'm just looking forward to this week. Like I said, Belichick week. We'll get a lot out of it. We'll know where this team's at for sure after this week. It's always a really, motivated and disciplined team when you play the Patriots. They played well last week. They scored points. I think, like I said, they lost to the Ravens, but they did score some points, and obviously they lost Mac Jones. So we will see who starts at quarterback, but we're getting close. It will be game day on Sunday. I will talk to you guys when we get a little bit closer to game day, just to see where we're at with some of these injuries and see where some of these guys are at, see where Mac Jones is at, where Jaire is at, things like that. Make sure everybody is starting that I think is starting. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video and watch other videos, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Go Packers and peace out. Thank you for watching.